All right, what's up, everyone? This is Final Fan TV, and you are watching Final Podcast 12. So thank you so much for tuning in, because this is a very special podcast. We have 3 special guest party members in our Final Fan TV party. It is Anthony Antfish Sardinha.
Hey.
The showrunner, director, and head writer for Final Fantasy VII Machinabridged. He's also the voice of Barret and various others.
That is correct.
We also have Lawrence MasakoX Simpson. He is the editor, motion graphics designer for the Final Fantasy VII Machinabridged.
That would be me, and also the voice of the legendary Mr. Stabby from season 1 and 2.
And we have Cliff, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, AinTunez.
Wrong.
Okay. AinTunez.
AinTunez.
No.
So close.
AinTunez. Einstein
Yeah.
Weinstein. He is the musician and composer for the series of Final Fantasy VII Machinabridged. All right.
Yes, that's me.
Yes. And also,
I didn't know if I was supposed to follow up there or whatever.
also joined with me in the party is the FFTV crew of Osby Tomlin.
Ooh, welcome.
Vinny McGovern, and a newcomer, Robert Pennington.
Hey, that's me.
That's you, and I am
That's
your host,
him.
Daniel Hofflich. Thank you so much for watching this video. We ask that you select subscribe, and that you summon the Final fans to come over here and subscribe too. All right, that's my pitch. All right, we're gonna get right to the questions for Team 4-Star. This is exciting. I'm excited. All right, so
The hype is real, baby. Don't
The
let my
hype-
face.
I am the hype.
There's so much hype bottled inside, baby. Welcome.
You did that.
Yes.
So I guess we'll go ahead and we'll direct this towards Antfish. That's Anthony Sardinha. When you started Final Fantasy VII Machinabridged back in to my newly found knowledge, 2014. I said 2015 was when you guys actually posted the first video, right? But yeah, so you guys actually went in pre-planning before Final Fantasy Remake was even announced, which is awesome. So you guys started it way back then, 6 years ago. So you must have known that this was going to be such like a massive undertaking. So here we are 5 or 6 years later, and it's now complete. So how does it feel, man?
Well, I mean, first off, the fact that it's all done now is really it's really surreal when you think about it. I still feel a little like teary-eyed in the mind whenever I see like the end at the end of the movie. Like it's like, god damn, like you spent all this time and it's like it's finally you reach it, right? You set a goal and then it happens. Like it's really surreal. But in terms of when this was planned, it was actually the brainchild of Curtis Arnott, Takahata 101, and I believe to Exorcist. The two made Attack on Titan Abridged, and when that, you know the history, when that tanked, when that was told stop. They were like, well, what else are we going to do? And Kurt kind of came up with the idea of, well, if we're constantly going to be making like a bridge series or parodies of like anime titles where you can't make any money off of it, what if we were to use video games? And he brought up the idea of Final Fantasy VII. And he came up with the idea of Final Fantasy VII Machinabridged. And I believe he came to you, Lawrence, right?
Yeah. He did his typical spiel. It's like, hey, Moscow, you gonna do this editing thing? Yeah, I think you'd be really good at it. It's like, it's not gonna be much work at all. It's like, really?
yeah.
Come on, man. No, come on, man. Let's just give it a go. Do it.
And correct me if I'm
I
wrong.
did it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe like it was a few days before the premiere of the first episode that the remake was announced.
It was, yes.
It was, and we had to like
was.
do a last minute change at the beginning.
That's some mug.
Yeah,
Good
and
ass
then,
timing.
Yeah.
and then
we
come
were
up with
this close to dating ourselves.
Yeah, so we basically, because it was like, oh, HD remake, never gonna happen. It was like, okay, and then come up with some like cool E3 like trailers to promote FF7 coming out tomorrow or something like that. So
Yeah, I remember you made that. That was really cool.
yeah, I had to quickly like come up with something that was maybe like semi-relevant. Like it was a few months after E3, but it was like people will get it.
The hype was
Yeah.
still there, no, for
Right.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's 2014 was kind of the time when that was all going to be set up.
Yeah.
And funny enough, they made like a oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? A proof of concept of like how it could possibly be done.
Yeah.
And Cloud was voiced by Curtis at the time, and we had Stamper as Barret because at that time Pointy Bits had come out and
Yeah.
Stamper had done the Barret impression, and Kurt was like, I want that for Barret. And I'm like, well,
We should release that at some point because it was.
I don't even know
so
if that
funny.
exists. I don't even know if it exists.
I have all the files here on the Final Fantasy drive.
I think
I would
yeah,
unplug it
because
but
that was back in
it's
the days when we were
currently
using Slack still.
Oh yeah,
We
Yeah.
just
sure
started
was.
using Slack. We
We
just
sure
started
were.
using it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I need to like look through my old exports and stuff like that to see
Yeah.
whether
I
actually
think
have
it's
it.
on the drive somewhere, but if so, we'll do it somewhere.
It's
Yeah.
around somewhere.
Somewhere. I'm sure we could put it on like Patreon or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, yeah,
Right
it-
here
it-
on FFTV.
awesome.
No, I'm just kidding.
Exclusive.
Exclusive.
Whoa, never before seen. But no, it kind of started off with that. And then Howard had to focus his time on school, which is understandable.
Mhm.
And then Kurt came up to me and asked, hey, man, so we got this thing that we're going to be doing. And, we already have, we got Lawrence on editing. We got Cliff is going to be making music. And, we already got a name. Since it's like an abridged series and technically a machinima, we're going to call it Machinabridged. And I was like, that's the fucking stupidest name ever. And I'm going to misspell that so many times, but God damn it, I'm on board.
It sounds like a
awesome.
Square Enix
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, and that's pretty much kind of how it started. And then we had the first episode written. The second episode was already rewritten. So like he explained to me the idea of like how we would do this. We would watch somebody's Let's Play, so that way we remember like what's happening in the footage, and then we'd go from there, just so that way we'd be able to see how like this would be able to work, and then like if a text box pops up somewhere, or like if there's moving parts. And because like I did like a bunch of editing and all that stuff in high school and college and all that, I was able to have like a good mind of like, okay, this is how we can do this. We can work around by doing that. And so we just kind of went through the first episode, and we did a bit of rewrites, and then went through episode 2 as well. And then from that point onward, we just started scripting.
Yeah, like, well, how did you come up with the person? Because of Machinabridged is it's a retelling of like Final Fantasy VII in a parody format, but it's also like you kind of just take off with it, and you took like Cloud, Barret, Tifa. They all have like dramatically different personalities, and Tifa being just hilarious throughout the whole show. So yeah, like how did you determine right at the beginning, like, okay, well, this is the personality that we're going to implement into each character? And like you would have to know that, okay, well, this is the first episode, but there's going to be like hundreds more, you know what I mean? Like that has to follow, and it has to make sense. So was there like some pre-planning in the sense of like character development and things like that?
Yeah, there was already pre-planning and like ideas for how a lot of the characters would be, who would play these characters. Curtis actually, he started off with like a lot of like ideas of like, he already auditioned Sarah Ann Williams to play Tifa by the time I had jumped on, so we already had a Sarah. He also Courtney Williams, Mystic Pyro Freak. He also slated her as she was going to be Yuffie because she sounded like Mabel Pines, and I was like, okay, no, that fucking works. We'll run with that, yeah. And we also have the fortune of, this is a game that has already existed, and like you already see what happens to people, so you can kind of base off those events of what they had went through to put it in like a parody functioning version. Tifa being like the biggest difference in between like season 1 and like all the other seasons compared to like how she actually is. Like the whole idea of her being like, yeah, I'm a jerk to you because I secretly like you. You know, like one of those ideas. Because I guess in like the original game, Tifa kind of was like not a lot in terms of like a characteristic other than Curtis described it as her personality. Well, used to describe it as her personality was Cloud ... And like, cause like most of the times too, like
it was the 90s. I mean, that's kind of how
was.
video game characters were written back then, especially women.
Exactly. And it's especially hard too, like if all you're doing is reading and then you're just like, whatever, just XXXXXXX, I want to go to the next thing, right? You're not going to pick up any of like the nuances or anything like that. So we kind of had to come up with these ideas of like how certain characters were at times, not so much because we wanted to be beholden on how they were originally, but because we knew what would be coming up later on. So we wanted to make sure that those ideas of the characters were still there, but it was honoring the situations that they were going through and that the things that they had to go through, the changes that they felt through that needed to stay. So like, so for example, Tifa being the bitchy character, that rightfully so, a lot of people did not like that. And, you know, it was understandable. Like this character was coming off too hard. Like we were trying to make it so that way, like, oh, she's so hateable but lovable, but it just ended up getting people to hate her.
We had some backlash for the joke in episode 2.
That was incredibly regrettable and on my part for that.
And by episode 10, we realized, I think, because we were still editing it while it was coming out.
Yeah.
So I think there was a quick rewrite at the end to like go like, yeah, we need to lampshade Tifa right now, because you notice from season 2, she mellows out a lot after season 1. Because we did a whole marathon of the entire series, and I just forgot how abrasive Tifa was.
Yeah.
I was so used to like the second half of Tifa, but it was like that rant, that Cloud, there needed to be like Cloud needed to push back, and he did.
Oh yeah,
and it was just that scene with Red just going, holy shit. You couldn't end it with like, you needed something to break the tension.
Yeah.
And it was needed. But I also remember like we did run off the salt for a long time.
Yeah.
Because there were like a couple of promos we did. Like I remember one with like Executive Napper on the phone.
Yes.
With, like, these piles of tissues with the tears of Tifa fans.
Yeah.
As in like, you know, if we did roll with it for a while. Like we couldn't shrink away from that. We just thought, well, let's own it. It happened, but let's just like put that joke to bed.
Yeah. And I think too, like the idea as well of like the excuse we kind of went through it was, oh, well, don't you have friends that like kind of push your buttons and like tell you like fuck around with you, but like at the end of the day they're like, okay, but no, you have to, are you good though? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, good. Fuck bitch. Like shit, like that's kind of the excuse we were kind of going with, but you know, it's understandable with the actual character itself and like the things that they had to kind of go through. Like it's completely understandable why people would have been upset with our depiction of her. And I'm super glad that we went into the direction of her mellowing out and her actually being like a motherly, well, not motherly, but just like a genuinely a good friend.
Yeah, like I would say as watching it, you know, this is a fresh watch for me. I watched the first season when it like throughout, you know, as you released them. But watching it back, I was like, yeah, it is. She is abrasive, and she, you know, in the first season. But if you watch it like a binge watch it, the moment that Cloud snaps and like has that, you can tell like she was like, oh, you know, like, and like you can tell the kind of, it might have gone, like you said, it went on too long. Like the joke went on too long. I don't know, but I thought it was hilarious the whole way through. But like as you're going, and you get to the part where Cloud snaps, and then you kind of feel like this character arc. You know what I mean? I don't know. I thought
Yeah.
it was cool.
Plus, it also kind of helps. Like I said, the points have already been put on the map. You know where you're going. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of how you're gonna draw to get there, right?
You could
Nice.
definitely take some oh god, I hate using the word clouties. You could take some clouties and then let them watch the first season. They'd be like, I don't know if I like Tifa too much anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
and then we get to people like Sid, who are virtually unchanged from the
Literally.
original.
Well, I mean, there's one change that, and apparently people are like, "How did you make it better?" I'm like, I don't know. I just found a way.
I found a
See,
way.
if Rick and Morty had been out in 2016 or whatever it was, we would have made Sid basically Rick.
I mean,
that's
maybe I wanted to
But
make
that's my
I wanted to make Sid Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
ah.
Nice.
That's I like the Rick. I like the Rick idea. That's
like
pretty
Rick.
good. That's pretty good.
Oh my god.
Sid is my favorite Final Fantasy VII character, and I like what you guys did with him. You did make him better. He was like an old soul, but in like the game he's like 28 years old, but he seems like he's
Right?
like 50
Yeah.
something, and he's just
Yeah.
so grizzled.
He acts like he's seen some shit, you know.
exactly. Brian killed it.
Oh yeah.
Shout outs to
absolutely.
Brian Olvera.
And bless him, yeah, in person, he's such a sweetheart. He really is. He's just like, yeah, it's how you're not darling. And then you just hear him recording like, "Where's my goddamn tea?"
Yeah.
The polarity is so. Voice acting's so weird, man. It's just like,
It's got to be fun though.
yeah,
You get to
and
go
it's
in
just
there.
like you hearing Justin's voice for like 6 years, and then you just say, "I just heard your voice for 6 years, man." It's like, oh right, you know, it's just that weird thing. I've been with these voices for so long, and yet I've not really spoken to most of the cast. Ages. It's weird.
It is weird.
So how does the process work when you're doing this the Machinabridged, especially with a video game? I would say like this is the first time you guys have done a video game. Am I correct about that?
Yes.
To this
Yeah,
extent, yes.
And not even like, and it's a text based, like all the dialogue is text based. I think Anthony touched on it a little earlier. Like you would have to maneuver around that for your scenes. So when you said earlier, Lawrence, when you were like, oh yeah, this will be easy, sure, I'm thinking like, oh no, you have to go in there, you have to camera pan to each one, you have to do like all the meticulous work that you have to do.
Well, fortunately, one mod saved our bacon, because it was a real like problem. As in like, oh shit, how are we actually gonna deal with this? Because otherwise I'd have to like use like mats and masks and stuff like that. But then I found a thing called Box FF7, and it's a mod where you can manipulate the text boxes to like, it's mainly made for customization. So that means you can use slightly different fonts, colors, all that stuff, or you can change the pixel size of and position of the box. So you can just move off to the black bit.
Nice.
And then either push the camera in or just like put a black space over it, and then when you come in to nest the sequence, you've gotten rid of it, and then you can just use that still for however you see fit.
That's really awesome. I was when I was watching, I was wondering, like sometimes you would have like the full screen and you can tell the game is still moving. Like there, you didn't, I was wondering, like I'm like, did he take it, like did he stop the screen? And
multiple layers, my friend. Multiple layers, cropping, masking.
The power of editing.
See, and then that's when you would think, like people would think, oh yeah, that's gonna be easy. It's a you know, static images, you know, you don't have to do much editing. But no,
yeah,
no, there's
you do. You do. And especially when I was editing season 1 on a really ancient iMac. And seasons 2, 3, and 4 was on a new computer, the one I'm using right now. Those were fine, but the movie, oh man, this system's chugging. It's like it's starting to chug. Just because it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, it survived. It's it can get up to like 10 layers high sometimes.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, I mean I can send a screenshot of like the movie.
Right. I think you didn't you?
I think for like season 3 or something like that. But you know,
But if you send a screenshot of the movie, that'd be sick to post.
I can do that. I can do that now.
I can do it. I can do it 9 times.
Just
Yes,
getting
it's
great
shut,
ideas.
shut it up, you.
So you got
Have a trophy.
so I'd imagine you have to record the playthrough. Then you have to edit it into a supercut. You have to write the script, or correct me if I'm getting this out of order, but then you record the dialogue, add the music. Man, what is the process like for just one single episode?
Well, the process is we don't write one episode, we write a whole season. So
Okay.
that way, because like in the Dragon Ball Z abridged format, it would be like per episode, this is done, scripted, whatever, get it recorded, get it edited, and all that set off. For this, we realized, okay, well, forgive me for saying this, but because it's not as, I guess, Dragon Ball Z abridged editing is heavy, but Machinabridged is also heavy, but on its own reasons, not so much.
Yeah.
Would you say it's less meticulous with
But
like lip flaps?
I would say lip flaps. No, you have to do it frame by frame.
Yeah.
Like, as in, like, it's granted, it's like 3 positions: open, half open, closed.
Mhm.
But you have to kind of like time it down to the frame.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've refined the technique. But you really have to kind of then you have to. So I'm just trying to think. So you have the base. You have all the layers, which to make it look boxes and stuff. You
Mhm.
then have to nest that in a sequence. Then you have to then have the lip flaps or any other effects. You do those first, camera pans, etc. Then
Mhm.
you get the lip flaps how you want, nest those, then copy that sequence, paste it at the exact same time. Fortunately, Premiere makes that relatively easy.
Mhm.
And then that means you can keep the lip flaps, you position them, and that means they move with the camera. So you don't have to rotoscope, which is what I was doing for seasons 2 and 3.
Oh,
Then for
God.
season 4, I was like, it's easier. Thank
Wait
God.
a minute. But
This is, it's experience.
But yeah, no, it starts off with writing. So we write the whole season first, just so that way it's kind of easier in a sense, because we're writing it as like a long form. So that way, like, let's say, for example, we know what is happening to a character in this episode. So let's kind of build it up a little bit until we tease to this episode where that thing finally happens. So like it's good to be able to know in advance. So we do it that way. Then once it's all scripted, once it's all done, I start recording the footage for it. Now before it was Lawrence who was doing it, and he had to. You played it on the PlayStation version, correct?
I played the
emulator.
Steam version.
Oh
You
yeah,
played the
yeah.
Steam version.
I did play the Steam version. And
Okay.
the trouble was, though, is that it was getting to the point where certain things weren't happening the way they should. And it was just getting a little bit like, we were wasting time in that, we were coming to go back and forth all the time, just to kind of get it all done. So for season 2 onwards, Ant took on recording the footage as he would want it.
Mhm.
And it saved loads of feedback loops. It saved loads of time in terms of actually getting things ready to go. So we probably saved like days of going back and forth and re-recording and all that stuff. So it meant that the material that we needed was immediately like scene 2 before we started main post.
Exactly. And what made it from season 2 onward easier was there was also another mod out there called blackchocobo.exe, and you could download it, and it literally has every single like save point in the game. So you could go in, select a character, set up their stats, give them whatever materials, whatever fucking health, magic, just literally you could break the game, put yourself, be anywhere you want. And so like, for example, if I saved a game and I was in Corel, and then I realized, oh fuck, I need to go get something from that's going to be like from all the way later on in the game. I could just go in, find out the time when that game would be, find out that save point, find the location, then find out where like in the game numbers where it would be, so that way it would activate. Because sometimes you could be like like episode 1, and then you could set yourself to be like going to Genova, but you don't have this thing, so like you would just be stuck. But another thing that was really cool too with it is that sometimes you could set it up and you could only have one person in the party like fighting. So like if you wanted to get like any like separate shots of them in the dark or anything like that, you could do that way. So it definitely saved a lot of time in terms of like where I was going. Plus, like Lauren said, if there was like a thing in my head where I was like, I mean, I was kind of imagining where Cloud would be like looking at this part, or like he'd be here. At least this way I'd be able to see and do it myself rather than having to go back and forth. Like he said, saved a ton in feedback loop. So once
incredible.
That's amazing that you found that. I couldn't imagine having to like you said, from Corel, you have to go all the way to a different part.
Exactly. Also, if you're like doing a boss fight as well, and you just need to like just stand there and let the boss like get animations in, you just set your health at like 9,999 and you just sit there and you're like, I'm getting close, I'll use one of my 300 mega ethers. You know. And but yeah, no, we would use that would get recorded. I'd put that up on the drive so that way Lawrence could get it, and then I would start scheduling actors, and I would just spend like 2 weeks of days just straight being like, okay, are you free this time? Okay, good. I'm gonna get you recorded at this time. I'm gonna get you recorded at that time. So like, and you know, if I had somebody there who was also like playing a character and I needed some other one-off voices, I would get them to also play that, just so that way I'd be able to double up. And then I would then lay down the audio for that onto Premiere for the timeline, so that way I would set up the times for the audio for the dialogue. And before it was Lawrence, and then I'd go back and be like, yeah, could you move Tifa's frames forward to line 2 frames forward?
Like, it would be just like, just like a quarter of a second.
Literally the most meticulous, head angering thing. Like, and I realized I can't do that. I need to be able to do it myself. So like everything was just there. So I was able to do that, and I figured it out. Plus, if there were moments of like, for example, when Sephiroth is in Nibelheim taking off the Genova thing and like doing all that, I would be the one editing the footage on that. So that way I would kind of get an idea of like, okay, this is how I have it in my mind. And if there's something that needs to be tweaked, I could be able to like tweak it myself rather than having to go back and forth constantly. So that's also another reason why we used Premiere for that, because we were able to do Project Manager, which then once we did that, I guess would you be better at explaining what Project Manager is, Lawrence?
It mainly means that if you have a project, you can then consolidate it by taking all of the project and the files that you use in it and make it into like one package, and you can then upload it where you want to upload it, and that means someone can download it, and that means you're not missing files, so you've got everything you need. So you just it's a way of transferring a project from one person to another without
dealing
minimal
with
disruption,
dependencies.
Sometimes some files break, but 95% of the files are usually fine.
Right.
Yeah. And then once that's all done, it's all up to Lawrence with the visual edits.
Yeah, it just means that we got everything down, and then it's just like multiple passes from there.
And then you got Cliff adding the recreating music, recreating and remixing what I think is masterful Uematsu work from the original Final Fantasy VII soundtrack. But my questions for you would be: is there a particular track that you found the most challenging?
One Winged Angel.
No question. Yeah,
no question whatsoever. For a few reasons. First of all, it's a very complicated piece, but more so, it's been done to death.
Yeah,
there has been a remix of every conceivable style except maybe polka, which I was considering at one point. But
I would definitely have said that's awesome, but no. If you want to make one now, please do.
Well, during the marathon, Sarah Ann Williams was suggesting I make a Kirby version of
yo, did you see that, dude?
I did. I saw it a few days ago.
Oh man.
But But just One Winged Angel was difficult because I mean it's been done to death, and it was one of the few times in the show where we actually needed the music to sync up with what was happening on the screen. And so, One Winged Angel, it wasn't composed with that in mind. It was composed as generic. I say generic, not as a detriment, but it was composed as generic video game music. And so it's meant to be kind of playing continuously on a loop. The remake did, a little better job with that. And I mean, that was another thing I had to live up to. I mean, they just came out with this 10-minute long, fantastic orchestral thing with 4 composers working on it. And I'm like, okay, what the hell am I going to do here? And ultimately, I mean, I came up with a sort of hybrid, sort of reminiscent of the Advent Children version. It worked. I'm not going to say it was absolutely masterful because there's no way I could possibly live up to that. But for what it was, I'm satisfied with it, and I'm not satisfied with everything I put together for the show. So
I gotta say, man, I listened to the soundtrack this whole week leading up to the conversation. That I really dig it. I really thought it was really well done. Now that I hear why it's arranged the way it is, but you rearranged it to where it doesn't exactly follow the One Winged Angel.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
We could have just played One Winged Angel behind it, but it wouldn't have fit. I mean, it just would not have fit. I had to find the parts of the song that sort of matched up with the action and kind of slot them together in a way that would fit, which was, I mean, it took like 2 months or something for me to get that right. And during that time I was experimenting with different styles. I did something that was more electronic. I did something that was more heavily 100% orchestral. And it all sounded good, but the hardest part was just making it sync up.
Yeah. Well, it turned out great. And I could tell that on some of the tracks that you did, you really let loose. And you could express that creative freedom. I guess when you don't have the daunting One Winged Angel looming over you, you can kind of mess around a little bit with like Descendant of Shinobi, which is a standout example for me, where you just kind of went your own direction with it, and it was really, really awesome.
That one was actually Anthony's idea. Anthony,
really?
Yeah, Anthony. I actually made a version of Descendant. Wait, which one? Descendant? Yuffie's theme. That's what I thought. Yeah, I actually made a version of Yuffie's theme that sounded basically like the original. But Antfish was like, "Can you make a ska version?" And I was like, okay,
sure.
And
it's not the weirdest thing you've asked, I guess.
Yeah, and it turned out to be really popular. And I mean, it's the fact that I'm not personally familiar with the genre, I think actually helped, because I didn't have these preconceived notions of what it should be. So I kind of just took it and I was like, okay, I guess I do this. I had no pressure, sort of like beginner's luck.
Own.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
Was there a particular song? I know I asked you which one was the most challenging. Which one was the most fun?
Most fun? That's hard to say. I really love doing the Turks theme because I had a lot of fun with that. I experimented with a few different things. At one point, it sounded essentially like the Law and Order theme, and nice. we actually played quick snippet of that at, I think it was Kineticon one time. Yeah. And that was a lot of fun.
That just sounds amazing.
Because you know how in the Turks theme is like do 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 do, and then you just add do 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 do. Like it works.
It fit too well. But I had a lot of fun with that one, and I had fun with all of it. I mean, it was all. There are definitely tracks that I know I could have worked harder on, but at the same time, they're in the show for 10-15 seconds. I'm not going to kill myself over it because, my time is better spent optimizing the ones that are going to be more heavily featured. Mm-hmm. So in terms of having the most fun, the first one I did before we kind of got rolling on the show, we were experimenting with doing sound alikes. we weren't going to do straight covers of the Uematsu tracks because we didn't want to get hit with copyright strikes or anything, and that's always been a danger, and it hasn't been an issue for us so far. But I had tried, doing some sort of sound-alikes that sounded, you could clearly see I was emulating the originals. But ultimately, this back when Curtis Takahata 101 was still involved, he was just like, you know what, dude, this music is so iconic. If we don't use it, it's gonna be an issue. And so at that point, I was like, okay, now I have to take these things that everybody knows and loves and make them sound, I guess, as good as I can. And I did what I could. And at that point, that was the first time I'd really done gigantic, heavy orchestral stuff. Let the Battles Begin, the battle theme, was the first one I worked on. And I was limited by the technology of the time, believe it or not. When you're sitting in your room at your desktop trying to recreate the sound of a 30-person orchestra, you're gonna have to cut some corners. And ultimately, there are certain parts where I had to musically get around some things that I just couldn't reproduce with samples. That's actually changed quite a bit in the past 5 years or so. The technology has changed, and I think my skills have improved enough that that's less of an issue. But I had a lot of fun with Let the Battles Begin because it's, again, I hadn't really played the Final Fantasy VII game, and so I'm listening to the soundtrack. I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. And so in that regard, I had the most fun with that one. But it's really hard to say. I enjoy what I do very much, and it's trying to pick out one specific instance that I love more than the rest is challenging in itself.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, man, I listened to the soundtrack a lot this week, and I absolutely love it. I think it was really done very well. And like I said, standout tracks on there for sure that have definitely ended up on my Final Fantasy playlist. You know what I mean? Like I got to listen to them now. So thank you so much for your work on that. And then I think we talked about we talked about all that. Osby, did you want to ask your
yeah. So Anthony, you mentioned briefly that the scheduling for voice talent and voice recording was a bit hectic and trying to fit everyone's schedule. Care to elaborate a little bit on the selection process for the voices? There were a lot of voices in Final Fantasy VII Machinabridged. So just curious how all that worked and how many different samples you guys listened to, and you're instantly like, oh, this is great. And like, no, not this one. So.
Well, we were lucky in that a lot of coming into this, a lot of the main cast was already cast already. Like we said, Mystic Pyro Freak was already going to be Yuffie. Sarah Ellen Williams was going to be Tifa. Kira Buckland was going to be Aerith. So like all that stuff was fine. In terms of like finding Sid and all that, like we did what we usually do when it comes to like auditions. We have like a circle of like friends and colleagues that we have. We type out like audition sides and we say, hey, would you like to audition for this? If they say yes, we send them off. If we say no, we say, okay, cool, whatever. And, then we listen to them. And then I do callbacks with the people. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And then when I make a decision, I email them. And so like, for example, there was a character, the Materia Keeper. I knew like that was going to be like I wanted like a monstery, like tarantulas type of voice. So like I went out to friends and colleagues that I knew who do like monster voices or creature voices. And they gave me they gave me their samples. I did some callbacks. I picked Kellen Goff. And then when I had him in there, and because he was only like, this character only had like 5 lines. So I was like, okay, what else can I fill you in as? And I would just kind of go through beforehand, and I would have a list of the characters that would be. And so if they were not in red, I would say, okay, if you can also play this character, that'd be fantastic. And so that's pretty much how the process of the voices kind of went.
So I'm going to we've been talking about Machinabridged for a while here, and I'd like to share a video clip from Final Fantasy VII Machinabridged. Anthony, would you like to set up what they're about to see?
Yes. So you know how at the end of spoiler alert, the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake is them leaving Midgar. So that is like if you've played Remake and you realize, oh shit, so that's the end of the game. Yes and no. In the end of season 1 for FF7 MA takes place all in Midgar. And then the next episode takes place in the town of Calm, where Cloud then has the flashback episode. And that's the beginning of season 2. The episode after season 2 now is the introduction of the Avatar world. Now, when I see Avatar world, I don't mean Nickelodeon's or James Cameron's, anything like that. I mean, like in the game, when you select a character, they have like their picture of them. And when you go out into Final Fantasy world, it's straight up like, did bringing up avatars hurt you, Lawrence?
I saw that.
It's meticulous.
It is. That is the meticulous.
We'll talk about this after the clip, but yeah, I'll explain my memories.
Yeah. But essentially what there is that, okay, all these characters are now, if in order to get from point A to point B in the game, there really is nothing telling you unless you just kind of explore. So we needed to figure out a way of like, okay, how can we help pace the story, like make things continuously go when they're in like the real world. So we decided, okay, let's do these avatars where it'll have like how they are, and then like they'll speak, and then the camera will go back and forth to them. So like very similar to like a Tales of Symphonia or any of like the Tales games. So that's pretty much what we did. And we had Stefan, our artist, draw up the avatars of the characters, and it has mouth flaps. We got shit coming in. Like it's more so it's my opportunity to be as cartoony and animated as I possibly can be within reason. So what you're about to see here is the debut of that concept, the Avatar world.
We've been walking for 5 hours.
I know we've been walking for 5 hours!
Damn, Cloud, let's not get your ass up and chill. Shit.
Yeah, buddy. We've all been walking the same amount as you, so don't go snapping at us.
Well, I'm sorry, Tifa. It's bad enough that Red took my spot, but I'm still a little on edge after having to relive that horrible memory from Nibelheim.
Oh, yeah. The horrible memory you had where I found my dad sliced up.
Holy f***, what did I miss?
Hey, my mom died too, Tifa. You don't get to play that card.
Seriously, what in the fuck?
Except for a tall guy, longsword, killed her parents, taking his mom's corpse to the promised land.
Oh my god, why am I following you guys? Technically, you're following me. I can smell Sephiroth in that Jane Overcorpse. She's in need of multiple bath times. They're about an hour ahead of us.
You said that 3 hours ago!
I meant dog hours.
It's okay, guys. Time is weird. Like, how can a quarter be past 7?
Oh my god, there's so much wrong with you.
Tifa, there's nothing wrong with Aerith.
Except denial! Because Fairy Princess over here doesn't believe she's clearly a Cetra!
You think I'm a princess?
Oh my fucking god.
We're here!
Thank you!
Now, we just have to go through that cave by crossing this mark.
This doesn't look too bad.
What's your name?
Not now!
That's excellent.
Nice.
So turns
This is
out
such good shit.
what I sent, what you guys have is a very exclusive pre-music clip.
It's the
Yeah.
music scratch. It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes with Ant, to get the message across, you just hear him go, "Duh, duh, 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 duh," and that almost is just going.
Oh.
I mean, it's easier for me to like just
Yeah, yeah.
vocalize what I want rather than
Oh,
typing
yeah. It
Yeah.
works.
Right.
It works.
That's
Pretty
awesome.
cool.
Congrats! That was the first ever behind the scenes look at Final Fantasy VII Machinabridged.
Hey,
Very nice, very nice.
world premiere.
It's one of those
Yeah.
happy accidents, you know.
Exactly. But yes, Lawrence, please elaborate on that clip.
Oh, well, it wasn't just that clip, but it wasn't so bad when it was just 5 people. By the time you get to the middle of season 3, it gets to about 9 people, the main party. And you just feel like, oh, because we have a talented artist, one of the resident artists for TFS, Stefan Krosix, and he provides a lot of animation assets for us, including all the different frames for all the different emotions for all the different characters. 9 characters, technically 10 in some ways. And they all have different emotions. They sometimes have special layers. Sometimes they can be like 25 layers in one sequence. And sometimes there are 3 sequences per episode. And I thought the avatars would be easier to do than the main stuff, but no.
No.
It's tough. I have to edit them separately. And, you know, it was a bit surprising that in season 4, the avatar sections were relatively small. There weren't that many. And
Because the story actually started going.
Yeah, the story actually started going. And in the movie, there was like just one bit. There was like one small bit, and there was like none of those like world map things at all. So I felt a bit like Stockholm syndrome.
Oh my gosh.
I miss them. Why am I missing
I miss that.
I miss all that work that it caused me.
But I mean, that whole workflow process, that would have been ironically easier in something like Flash, where you can define preset objects.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, trigger this animation here, this animation there, and it's, you know, that much easier.
That now an Adobe character animator.
Oh yeah, is that what it is now? Okay.
I think there is something along those lines. You can pre-program certain assets to happen at certain
R.I.P. Flash,
times.
one of the many casualties of 2020.
Yeah,
many.
You know, that was a lot of fun. I love that clip, by the way, too.
That was pretty good.
Cool.
Thank you
so much for sharing that. So I hope that any viewers watching this right now, and if you haven't, for some reason, you're probably watching this for Team 4-Star, let's be honest. But if you haven't seen it, please go check out Final Fantasy VII Machinabridged, especially if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII. I think that you guys do a great job of making this into a parody, but not being like disrespectful to the source. Like it's a fun, it's it's comedy. The characters are completely wildly enhanced personalities and different, and it's never at one point where sometimes you get that borderline of like, okay, wait, are they making fun of my favorite thing of all time? Or
I mean, that's the line you have to tread when making any parody. And I'm not a part of the writing team, so the others might have better insights on this. But I mean, if you're not making a parody of something you really love, it's going to come out. You need to be familiar enough and have enough respect to the source material to be able to actually make it a good parody. Otherwise, it's just doing random crap with this existing thing. And there are some abridged series on YouTube where you can tell that's the case. I won't name any names, but but they just kind of oh, this looks fun, let's do this, and make a bunch of fart jokes and 10,000 references to pop culture. That's not a parody, that's just random crap. So you have to come at it from the angle of, I love this, what can I do to pay my respects to it in a fun and ideally shortened way.
6 years, but 6 years later. No, I agree, man. It was superbly written, in my opinion, to the point where, like, as I said, I mean, as we touched on, it's not disrespectful. It's funny, funny as hell, and like the characters are great, and I would definitely check out watching it. And once again, guys, just excellent editing, excellent music added onto it, and it's just all around great video series. Please check it out. So that kind of concludes our Final Fantasy VII Machinabridged topic. if you guys don't mind, we'd like to move on to a mini game that we call them mini games here on Final Podcast, where we play. It's this one's going to be different. It's going to be a premiere mini game for Final Podcast. Yes, for some stupid reason, I saved a premiere, never before played game for Team 4-Star. Yeah, this is hopefully it goes great. You know.
All right.
No pressure.
Fingers crossed. No pressure.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Usually we just do Mad Libs and it's really easy and really straightforward. But so for this game, this is password. So what's going to happen is I will play host. As you can see laid out on your screen, I hope that it's laid out on your screen the way I'm seeing it. But so you have Anthony Sardinha and then Osby Tomlin. Okay. And then Lawrence, Vinny McGovern, Cliff, and Robert Pennington. That is your, those are your teams, the teams of 2. So what's going to happen is I will privately message the clue givers a word, and that will be the password. And
The password.
The password is. If you ever seen Cable Guy, I don't know. I'm not going to go with the joke. All right, so you will give a 1-word clue, and that 1-word clue to your teammate, and that teammate will have to give a 1-word answer because the word will be a 1-word. And if your teammate gets it right, you're good. We move on to the next round. If your teammate gets it wrong, it goes on to the next team, and you can use the clue given from the first team, and then you can say okay, and then 1-word clue. For example, I've been given out the example of materia. Let's say the word is materia. Let's say Anthony says equipable, Anthony says equipable, and then if Osby says sword, right? That's not the right one, so it goes on to Lawrence, and Lawrence will say summon, and then like Vinny can say materia or something like that. You know what I mean? And so basically, if you don't get it right the first time, then you give the other teams clues.
Okay.
So I like that we're third. I like this.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is 3 unique words. So basically 3 rounds. So that way everybody has equal chance at scoring points. All right.
What do we get if we win?
You get a Vinny. What do they get, Vinny?
Do we get the satisfaction of knowing that we played a really fun game?
On Final Fantasy.
Oh wow! Wowie!
I never thought of
boy.
it like that.
I never thought about doing things not for prizes.
Come on, you're losing gifts right now.
We're not playing for championships, boys, but if we were.
Oh my god.
You're talking to Final Fantasy TV right now. This is the gift.
Hey.
That's right.
I think it's the other way around.
Yeah,
All right.
the other way around. All right, guys. So we're gonna start it off. We'll start off with Anthony.
Okay.
All right, Anthony. I will message you a word.
Okay.
Okay, here it comes. Let me get in here. Let's go.
I believe in you, Anthony. It's just us now, man. For those of you listening, not watching the video on Spotify or wherever this might be,
Okay.
Anthony is thinking right now.
Intense thought.
I'm wondering.
Thought bubble.
Mother.
Genova.
Hey, guys.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Okay.
That was an easy one.
I've
I've never played Final Fantasy, and I got that one.
Oh, nice.
I was really hoping that you wouldn't say Sephiroth.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
hey, that's 1 point, baby. It's 1.
I was thinking like so simple. I was like, mother, father.
Daddy? Is that you?
Gotta go with your heart on that one.
Yeah.
Just a little heads up, Lawrence. Daniel likes to sabotage me, specifically in games, and I'm sorry that you're just, in the gravity of my sabotage. So Daniel's probably going to give you the most obscure, hard to explain.
All right, Lawrence, you should have received a message. Did you get it?
Okay.
Okay.
Seventh Heaven.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lawrence. That's 2 words.
Oh well, no. Okay, never mind. My bad. I just wanted to include the background.
Hey.
Right there.
That's a good segue.
Oh no, hang on. I can change it to 1 word. That.
That. There we go. We'll allow it.
Got him.
What do you got, Ben?
Bar?
All right, that is incorrect, Cliff. I'm going to send you the word, and then there we go.
Shinra.
Oh.
Robert Pennington.
Midgar?
Hey!
Hey!
Yes.
All right, so we got
Okay.
1 point for team Big O, Big O Sardinha, and and 1 point for Cliff Pennington's, the Cliff of Pennington.
Pennington.
I don't know, guys. Come on, get your own names.
Make your own name.
Make your own name. Okay, so now
Benevolent Connecticut.
it goes over to Lawrence. You're going to start this round. So there has been 2 unique words. Lawrence, you will start this one. No, wait. I'm sorry, Cliff. My bad.
It's Cliff.
What?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm the host. I know what I'm doing.
Contrary to popular belief, this man has his shit together.
Right. All right, this goes to Cliff.
Space.
Did you say space?
Space.
Sorry, Rob, that was too many words.
I'm just asking. He said space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Space.
5 seconds.
Meteor.
Good Lord, what the
Hey.
Hey, all right.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. All right.
Oh,
That was good. I didn't.
my first thought was calamity from the sky, but I was like, no, it's too many.
I was
words.
like,
Too many
should I
words.
say judgment? I don't know, but okay.
No, that was good. That was perfect. Nice. Okay.
Awesome. All right. So right now, Cliff and Robert are in the lead with 2. So now we will
bow down to me.
there's your creature voice right there.
Nice.
All right, we're gonna flip whatever, you know what I'm saying. Osby, you will be the clue giver this time. All right,
Let's do it.
Osby, your word is. Did you receive the word? Okay. Did you get it, Osby?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Clone.
Jeez, there could be so many things. But what would be the easiest? Hojo.
Hardcore thinking phase.
Did you say Hojo?
Yeah.
That's incorrect. Sorry.
Damn it.
All right, so you have the first clue.
Okay.
We're sending this one over to Vinny. Okay. Vinny has the word.
Okay. Gathering.
Reunion.
There it is.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
That's
Gathering.
good.
Gathering.
Good.
Gathering.
Wow.
Good.
That's
Gathering.
real good.
Gathering.
That's
So much better than clone. My bad.
It's all good. It's all good.
Wow, now I got pressure. Damn it.
All right, so this one's going to Robert.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
Just to keep the score updated, I'm just going to make sure we got it correct. Cliff and Robert have 2 points. Lawrence and Vinny have 2 points. And Anthony and Osby have 1. Correct? All right. Awesome. Robert, you are going to get the word.
I think the scores are wrong.
I can't do this against Cliff. Is the score wrong? Please.
I think Lawrence and I only have 1 point.
Is that right?
I think that deserves a bonus point for honesty.
I was gonna say that.
all right. A solid 1.5 there. You know, he's like, time out. We fucked it up. Hold on. It's not 2 points. Time out.
All right. I'm trying to pick a word that I don't want to I feel like Cliff should know this word.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
He's done pretty good, I think, with some of the other ones. Okay.
Robert has the word.
Energy.
Life stream.
That is incorrect. We move on to Osby. I'm going to send
Oh.
you. No, wait. Yeah, it's still Osby. Yep, Osby. Such a good. That was good. It's good. Good clue. Good guess. What?
Reactor.
Shinra.
That is incorrect. We move on to Vinny.
I still love you though.
I think I know what the word is.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Okay. Are we allowed to be reminded of the first two clues?
I want to say like that would be like, hey,
You've already
Okay.
forgotten them?
No.
I don't know. I want to say like maybe no on that one, so that way you kind of have to really pay attention.
Okay.
Mhm. Oops. Don't mind. I'm sending the scores right now.
I think that's two words.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 5 seconds.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Live stream.
The word has already been used, but Lawrence, you can still try and get it right.
I think I know what
Holy.
it is now.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say holy.
It is incorrect. We're moving back to Robert.
I'll give you the my clue is going to be fuel.
Mako.
There it is.
Oh,
damn.
I mean, yes.
That was my
Dude,
Yeah.
Reactor was my when he said that I was like that was the clue.
that
I
was
don't
my
even-
set. That was my guess as soon as he said reactor.
Yeah, it's like that was good. That was good.
Now I got more words if you guys want to keep playing, but that would be we went around both times. I got
That's
more.
right. We got 3, baby.
I wasn't able to give Lawrence a
proper clue.
Yeah. Well, no. That's because this is the how many points are there?
I have 3.
Wait,
Or
have we not
3.
gone around again? I'm sorry.
If there's only 5 points allotted
Right.
altogether, then
Benny, I'm just trying to screw you over again.
I always.
What happened, man? Like... All right, here we go. I'm sorry about that. This is your word, Benny.
Okay, dragon.
Bahamut.
I mean,
Yes.
there it is.
Oh wow!
I've heard this phrase, the Bahamut, thousands of times. I know
Yeah,
it now.
come on, is that an alley-oop right there?
Alley-oop, just set them up. All right, so the score is now we got Anthony and Osby at 1, Lawrence and Vinny at 2, and Cliff and Robert at 3. Yes. All right, there it is. So 1, 2, and 3. All right. Now it goes over to Robert.
Okay, that's right.
This will be the final round if you guys want to stop it here. If you want to keep playing, we got more words. All right, so I'm going to send you. Robert has the word. Pondering the thought.
That's a tough one, man.
5 seconds.
I want to say this is one word, even though there's a thing in the middle. Mini game.
I guess I'll allow it. There, the hyphen in the middle. Is that what? You...
Yeah, I'm talking about the hyphen, so I'm gonna say mini game.
All right, I'll allow it.
Gold saucer.
That's incorrect.
Okay, that's 2 words too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But that's okay. No, this is a tough one though.
This is one's tough. All right, so we're gonna go over to it's Osby. So Osby. Giving it thought. He's straining his. Wait 5 seconds.
Downhill.
Snowboard.
Oh, what?
Nice.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Oh,
I was thinking blitzball or something.
The superior mini game.
the superior.
Oh,
Or legendary squats.
I was thinking, I was like,
legendary.
I
Oh,
was like,
man.
what's one word that's actually one word? And I'm like, gravity doesn't make any goddamn sense. I can't use gravity.
But I keep getting gravity.
I can't say snow.
Yeah, right.
I guess I could say snow.
Yeah, that was fun though. That was good.
All right, yeah. So that's it. If you guys want to keep playing, I mean, the winner is Cliff and Robert.
Hey, congratulations!
I'm down to keep playing until I win.
I would. I have to eat dinner.
Okay.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah, I don't know what time zones you guys are all in, but I'm on the East Coast.
Me too.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
It is definitely dinner time. If you guys don't mind, we do have I think 2 or 3 fan questions. If you don't mind taking some fan questions.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. So for this is a request for MasakoX. As a big fan of Sephiroth and Goku Black, would you read the following Sephiroth quotes in the voice of Goku Black? And I will share the screen so that way you can. Or you know what?
Excellent.
I'll just copy it and send it to you here.
All right. Okay. Let's see. Just wait for that. It's like. All right. All right, Subarashi. You can't tell there's a microphone here. So, you should have ruled this planet. You were stronger, smarter. But then they came, those inferior dullards. They came and took this planet away from you. But don't be sad, Mother. I am with you now. We meet at last, Mother. I will never be a memory.
Oh, that's just that was awesome, man. That sounded so cool.
Okay. I don't know if I can send a picture, so I am going to have to share my screen for this one. This is a question for, apparently we just really want you fans just really want you to read in your voices. This one is for Antfish. In a previous episode of FFTV, John Bentley read a quote from the original game in the voice of Final Fantasy VII Remake's Barret. Would you mind also reading the same quote but in the voice of your Barret?
Absolutely.
All right, so let me share the screen real quick. Let's go here. Okay, you guys seeing this?
Yeah. Where's its fucking head? This whole thing's stupid. Let's keep going. All right, yeah.
Where's its fucking head? Man, this whole thing's stupid. Let's just keep going.
But I still remember the whole thing from our one. Just like we have it Barret turning. That woman has no head.
Just why? Tell me why.
Yeah. Oh god, that was great.
Oh, that was amazing.
That's some good shit right there.
Yeah, that was the 2 fan questions. So thank you so much for doing that.
No problem.
Right.
That was incredible.
That was a really spectacular experience. Thank you guys so much for taking a big chunk out of your Saturday to be with us. We really, really appreciate that.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Y'all the real
so
MVP. Like no one ever was.
Yeah, we're big fans of Team 4 Stars, so thank you so much. So on behalf of the Final Fan TV crew, and we want to just give you a big thank you for being on the show. Any closing thoughts that you guys want to say before we dip out, or
give us money?
Oh yeah. Vinny will take care of all of the financials.
I like how he always diverts right to Vinny.
We're just gonna go right to Vinny.
No, so to elaborate on that, the One-Winged Angel from the movie is available on all major music services, as are the previous soundtracks to seasons 1 and 2. So yeah, buy those or listen to them on Spotify, and we will get a little bit of money, which helps us because we need money.
Yeah, I mean, so you
like everybody does.
You continue to do this amazing content. So absolutely go check that out. Absolutely go check out those 2 albums for sure. Lawrence, you got anything?
I just say thank you all so much for sticking with us for the 6 years of Final Fantasy VII Abridged. Look forward to our future projects, and we may have one last hurrah with maybe a blooper special.
Ooh,
yeah.
Mhm.
It's a tradition. We usually do one.
Yeah.
So that will be our final fling.
Final.
The
Final.
final Fantasy VII.
Literally
Yes.
typed, and it's in final. Please God, let this be the final version and the date. And then, yeah, but expect that sometime in the next couple of months.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's fantastic.
I can't wait. I'm really looking
forward to it.
That
Yeah,
sounds
dude.
hilarious.
That's
Anthony?
so cool.
Well, just to parrot what Lauren said, thank you for sticking with us for these 5-6 years. Thank you for all the support and all the love and all the care that you've shown us. Be safe, wear a mask, follow CDC procedures. Don't be a fucking idiot. Like, that's literally.
You're in Canada. Do you even have
There's
the
the
CDC?
soundbite. That's the title.
I mean,
of the,
yeah.
episode.
The title of the episode, Don't Be a Fucking Idiot. That's right.
Don't be a fucking idiot.
What the fuck? What the fuck is this? Let's keep going.
Yeah. I still don't know what the hell's going on. That's awesome, man. Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Why sage advice from Anthony.
Wildest wisdoms, if you will.
Got him.
Man, isn't it ironic that the two Barretts have given us the most sage advice? You know, like if you listen to the John Bentley episode, he went really deep with it, and you just went really just like listen.
He's like, stay the fucking home.
He's like, he's the wise old black man that appears in every movie ever made.
I get to
Give
be
sage
Morpheus.
advice.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Thank you guys.
cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you. So we can continue to have great guests like Team 4 Star. Thank you.